So
Wow, well.
Speaking of bad things,
from Mr. Red over there.
We're live.
These guys are confirmed. I nearly said cannibal there. I mean,
Scott
communist.
could be a cannibal. I don't know. How would we know, right?
Where did his old tenants go?
they're
I don't think I've seen Eric in a while.
live on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch.
Sure they did.
It could just be Penny in a suit.
Not just
like a man suit.
Both cameras. Penny's doing so fast she goes back and forth between the two cameras. That's why Eric
Erin exists because she's on Sundays. But Eric.
That's also Penny in a suit.
Oh shit.
Talented dog. So, you finish punching to Tongle Station. In particular, to the planet of Tongle. Tongle is a gas giant. As you approach it, it is a sort of yellowish, orangish, Jupiter kind of planet, but a bit more on the yellow spectrum. Massive thing. It is mined for charged particles that actually go and fuel punch drives most of the time, as well as some other technology. But the station you're going to in particular, it's got so many mining stations dotted all around it. Too many. Is one known as Station 52. Known for being connected to the criminal element and many other things and bounty hunters and things.
Wait, on the periodic table of elements, one of them's a criminal?
Yeah, it's don't fucking trust helium. I did once, and now look at me. All right. I wanted to find a punchline there. I knew it existed. You can easily.
The look you were giving there, I was like, has Ollie just given up?
Yeah. He's searching. He's searching.
I was like, oh my god.
It was whether I was gonna like cut that off and just go on, or see if I could.
It was the old Windows wizard, like sitting there, like dancing, waiting for the search results.
Wow. That's some OG shit.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Okay. You can easily get permission to land, Henrique does. You can easily land. This is a sort of place. You gotta think of being on one of these mining stations similar to being like on an oil rig. People live here for years at a time. They can't really leave. They're usually contracted. But, supplies have to come and go, and the people that live here have to have a certain level of comfort. This is actually one of a fairly big station. It's more a town than a city or anything, but it has, a booming community. Not everyone mines the planet, and a vessel like yours, even though you have no real reason to be here, you can land without any sort of problem. In fact, Davis, there's suspiciously too little questions asked, and there's a lot more docking places than this station necessarily needs. Now, something of note, the docking on this station actually isn't inside the station, it's outside on platforms that you then have to suit up and walk in. So,
Can I just hold our breath?
But it's designed that way, clearly, ships designed to go to this station, probably by the same company that makes the station, can dock properly. But because your ship's from a different place and is like a kind of combat vessel, you have to land outside, suit up, go in. But because of your armory, you have enough vac suits. That's one of the things I should have said when you asked about the armory. You definitely have enough vac suits. No spares, and you can easily get spares. But you can go in, go to your vac suits, go to an airlock, which is still technically, you're renting for a bit, leave your vac suits there, then enter the station. So, now that you are docked here on Station 52, who's going to go station side, who's going to, sort of operate? Just a little bit more about this station while you think that over. There are sort of mining spikes that do go off into the planet, but because they can kind of decide how they want the gravity, it's actually, sideways against the planet, so you actually have a brilliant fucking view, unlike how you might imagine it would be topside, where you just, mine downwards. They mine sideways with the mining spikes. And there are two of them, big ones. The station itself is sort of, little habs. Some of them are prefabs. Most of them are kind of like, domes and things. Domes that are popping out of like other areas, and clearly things that have been adjusted to make the occasional little towers and things. It's a bustling town. Nice little neighborhood. Aside from, it's not.
As for who's going to go on this like shore mission, I mean, because what they're doing is we're trying to find information about specifically these big baddies. I would say that myself, Rain, and the engineer, in case there's anything that we need to do for like prying over ship for information, definitely needs to go. The 2 crew that are most familiar with the ship will stay behind for the defense of it. The question I'm going to ask the other 2 PCs here. Guys, what do we think about bringing Anna with us? She's usually she's friends with shitty people, so she might be able to help us get into the underbelly. But then we're bringing an NPC along, so it's kind of, do you want to bring the NPC?
More fingers in the pot.
So I agree with you. I was gonna be like flat out no, and then you made the criminal element point, so I'd understand it if you wanted to, but at the same time, like. It'd be nice for us PCs to go on a date.
Yeah, you could just leave her.
So we'll do it like this to resolve it in game. Well, Ian, what's your opinion?
I am very similar opinion to Neil, right?
Okay, cool. So then, because we're kind of like all on the fence, wavering one way or the other, I'll actually speak to Anna and be like, Anna, for the shore leave, I'm definitely leaving Miria and Henrik here to guard the vessel. The 2 of them are going to come with me. My question is, while I'd rather have you here guarding the vessel as well to make sure that nothing happens, because, well, the elements of this world here. On the other hand, the elements of this world here. Do you think you have any contacts still? Do you think you know anybody you could reach out to for us?
I don't really know anyone on this planet, but I know who runs it. Well, this station anyway.
Is it somebody that you're close contact with?
The organization. They call themselves the Corvu Tongal Alliance. While that might sound all above board, it's one of those things where they make it sound really nice, but it's more or less criminals who rally the miners into a community of smugglers and thieves, which is and pretty much every guard on this station is going to be working for them. But other than that, I don't really know much. I'm happy to stay here in case we need to buzz off fast. And if you need an extra gun, yell.
Assuming that they were nobody's like within earshot because we're having like a semi-private conversation. Our core crew, I'd be like, I'd rather have a hand they can trust on the helm. Now, of this organization, what's the likelihood of an underling, someone lower in the ranks, taking bribes?
Oh, 100%. You just have to find the right one.
Even against their own organization?
The people here are just working hard and they want more for their work. They will take more creds if they can.
Okay. Try to keep...
Probably walk over at like this sort of a break and be like, he's like clearly he's like got half his vac suit on, and then he's like had a thought, boss, what are we doing for weapons? Do we bring them? Do we show them?
Absolutely. I say.
Hey.
So I'll say, try to keep a trace on us. Good luck. You've got the ship.
And she'll just sort of settle back into the seat while you set up.
Okay, and so we'll make our way. So armored vac suits. I know we bought 2.
You have 2.
We don't have a 3rd, do we?
No. But you're not going to be on the vac suits when you're in the city.
So
the town.
You just
have to go back and forth in them.
We have 2 armored, right? And 1 or 2 normal.
You have 6 normal. You have as many as you need.
I'll just wear a normal.
Yeah.
I don't think we really need armored for going across. If anything, they might get nicked once we're there.
So the woven body armor, which is that higher tier, is that something that it's not vac suit ready? It's not. I know that, but you can throw a suit over that, right?
Yeah. It doesn't get you. It's just the armors don't count because when you're using the vac suit because of the different situation and stuff. But
it's like your vac suit is wearing like a little tank top of body armor.
So definitely Neil and I can wear regular ones. It's up to Ian if he wants to wear the armored one.
No, I've got the. No, I'm fine with regular. I've got armored undersuit.
I love how Ian just gave up.
Remember, other armor doesn't count while you're in a vac suit. As
Yeah,
I
I
just
know,
said.
but it's like as I said, like if we're only using vac suits to go to.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
And
So
you-
all right, cool. Let's go.
You strap up, you make the short walk. I mean, it is a longer walk because you're in no gravity, and also there's a giant gas giant like there, and you can see the swirling storms on the surface and the areas where the mining spikes like dig in and cause like this disruption of energy. It's pretty sweet looking, especially probably to Prov and Rain, who, you know, don't see this kind of thing every day. Davis has definitely been on other like mining stations and things. But you get into this airlock, which because you own this little berth here, now you're renting it because you're landing here. You can just put your vac suits up in here. It locks with a passcode, and then you can head out into the town.
Okay.
What's the
So-
plan of action?
So obviously the most important thing is to try to find out where it was that she had gotten that data from. So when we were here, like with all the tracking and everything that I said I was doing beforehand on the vessel, it was about finding out who she had contact with, whether that be other. Sorry, I have a nasty tickle today. Whether it be with other ships, captains of ships, whatever it was that would have been on the black box. What leads do we have for this base?
Other than that, she docked here. Not much, because that other stuff wouldn't be on the black box unless she deliberately, you know, plugged her phone into a terminal, her data pad into a terminal, and then uplinked and linked them properly. And you do that because it's proper protocol. But a frickin' streamer, bounty hunter, probably wouldn't do that. But what you can try to do is, you know, you could easily get up city plans or town plans of this area, go to where she docked, and try to figure out where she would have met someone from there.
Yeah. So it's the same thing that we did when we were on that other planet beforehand. To try to get to the original console and hack through our way. All right. So we will follow that protocol because it makes sense.
So you're gonna go
Okay.
to where she. It takes no trouble to go to the berth she docked at. It is currently unused, and it is similar to your one where it is an outer berth. You would have to walk through to go through. These sort of areas, you know, they're littered with, you know, boxes and maintenance machines and things. But it does overlook into some streets that go into various, you know, bars and shops and things, and simple accommodation. This place is a lot less friendly looking than when you were in Was, though, because that had, you know, trees and plants. And of course, every station you can go to is going to have some plant life, but just there hasn't been that effort to make it like a nice place to live. It's kind of grimy. There's like things that are broken and not working properly, like some of the atmospherics are just like pumping instead of like doing it like casually. Like it's a little shitty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll go there and find that terminal, like whichever one that we think that nobody's really paying attention to.
You can find a terminal there. Why do you need a terminal there?
Oh, for trying to see if we could find out like if there was any form of connection, shoot, like exactly where it was that she would have docked, or any other information.
You are at where she docked.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You can easily find that because you have that. You have that information, and you can find like the number, the dock number.
Then it's just a matter of questioning people. And for this, I'm going to have to defer to our little empath. Be like,
who doesn't have empath abilities,
yes,
Yeah, I know.
but is empathic.
so,
so you
It's just
actually
funny.
have a better bonus if we're talking connect or talk or anything.
that was Jason's job.
Actually, I think what we could do as like a team would basically be, like Rain could have like retcons, like Rain could have like brought her guitar along and just start like playing on a street corner or something. Then when people like stop, Davis like pretends to join in and listening, and then just asks a couple of questions casually to people.
Disarm people and casually ask. So that's entirely reasonable.
I love the idea of you posing this plan, me being like an engaging casual conversation,
Yeah,
not an
sure,
interrogation. You don't see the flaw in this plan.
I mean, you're good at talking to people, right?
I looked at
You
Prov.
see Prov, like, slightly behind him, just shakes his head.
I'm actually I actually turn to look at Prov and I say, "Permission to speak freely."
No. No. No.
Look back at Rain.
Well, I mean, it's not like you can play the guitar and I can talk to him. So
I shrug and I put my hand out to take it.
she just looks at it with a grin and then just says, "Well, I mean, look, I'll try and help you out. I'll try and talk to a few people as they come up as well. Just we're working together on this, right?"
Maybe
Oh,
we should just ask someone where the sleaziest bar is. I mean, these people come here to get jobs and relax. There must be a place they all go to get jobs.
Sure, but you're referring to a sleazy bar for somebody who is otherwise famous. I imagine a sleazy bar would be the last place she would want to find herself, unless it was fanfare for her viewers. I think it'd be better off if she'd be a more established place. And for that, I'm actually going to look for like lights.
She's not that famous. None of us heard of her.
Most of us have taken it.
You, Arthur, hadn't heard of her.
That happens so much with just like Twitch people. Like,
Yep.
oh, you know this? And I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
How do you not know this person? Like, they have millions of followers. Like, so, who's the president of Bavaria? Do they even have a president? That's a country. That's something that actually matters. Do you know? I don't. Is that a country?
Bavaria is a region in Germany. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. But you know what? We were Googling it, weren't we? Because it doesn't matter.
It's a German state.
German state, yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
The capital is Munich.
Who's the prime minister of Australia?
That's in contention.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, that's a bit of a heavy.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you actually want to just wander around and try and find somewhere that looks right, you can give me notice checks. You could also try and give me an administer check to do as I briefly mentioned earlier, like look at the plan of the town. You can do those.
Or you can follow Rain's brilliant plan.
I mean, we'll give Rain's plan a try because she seems to be really excited about the idea of doing it. And honestly, when was the last time she got to play for an audience? And things have been heavy lately. So
she got to play for someone who cares.
I think about it and I'm like, at first I'm like, this is a stupid idea. And before I actually say the words, I'm like, and I think of Jason and I go, it's a path we can take. Why don't we try this first? And if it doesn't work out, we'll search out establishments. And then I look over to what's his name, and I say, but hopefully more established establishments.
I've got a name. So
He says to the meta.
I am not a number.
That is Scott's meta, though, is just forgetting names.
Yeah, it's true.
So, Prov would like to, rather than talk to people, because don't trust people.
Don't trust people.
He'd
Everybody
look
lies.
for the person that he thinks is likely to go to this place that we believe to be.
This place you believe might exist.
So let's go for like a nice up-class crime dude.
Yeah, someone who looks a little too nice to just be here casually.
So
you know?
basically,
Like got
Prov's
big
looking
gold
for an
rings,
imagined
gold
character
chain.
from an imagined place.
And then he will follow them. He will tail them.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen.
I thought
Rain,
Rain was going first.
Rain, you're gonna give me a performance check.
Here's where I fail.
Here's where you're gonna go fast. Here's where you're gonna go great. Here's where you're gonna roll good rolls.
This is what I'm doing during.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing that during.
along
While
the
you're
line.
For God's sake!
Ryan, why can't you not suck for one session? Just one.
Do you know what the
one-
lowest
one-
possible DC is? 6.
I've
Use
been
a-
doing well.
Ray,
Oh,
I
wait.
just need one session where you don't suck.
I've been doing well. That's the first bad roll.
It's like my character's like, I want to like you, but you just suck so hard.
It's
I'm just
clearly
like,
what's
Why are
going
you
on
here?
is that Rain and Prov are a power couple. And they bring out the best in each other. Rain, you sort of settle down. You don't sit right here at this berth. You go like a little bit until you find like a little place that actually does have a tree and like little seating areas around it.
But funny enough, the person that chose to play harmonica at that exact spot is doing a better job than
No,
you.
it's literally, it's like worse than that. Like there's some sound being played like radio, like through the station a little bit. And you start playing a bit, and a lot of people would like, shut up! Like, take us somewhere else! I don't want that codswall up here. Like, people just aren't happy
That's
with
alright,
your
we
presence.
can still make this work. So the
I remember why I often argued with my husband.
So now you're gonna look for someone who's pissed.
Right, yeah. So someone who's rich will feel powerful, and they'll tell someone to shut up. So one of the people who shouts is one of the people who's
I mean, if Davis has been clever about this, he'll try one of them who's shouting at her. He'll go up and be like, she sucks, doesn't she? I mean, anyone better around
But
here?
Davis isn't that socially competent.
Yeah, I know. That's...
Prov, give me a notice wisdom check. Oh, charisma. I think they're the same.
No difference, baby.
Yeah.
No difference, baby.
You don't even see many people. Some people like pop out of like windows. Like, shut up!
You mean it's like they pop out the window going, hey, shut up at your face! And then they disappear. Then another...
I mean, yes, but less racist. Yes. But it's okay because they're space Italians, which means, you know, it's fair game.
Is it?
That's how it works. Yeah, you don't see many people. The people you do see are kind of the people you'd expect to see. You don't see anyone out of the ordinary in this area. But then you have a thought, two of you. Actually, station time, it's work time right now. There's not going to be an awful lot of people around, although the people that are going to be around are more likely to be people you're looking for. It's just generally not a busy time in general.
So when you're like looking about for the people, she's playing music, getting yelled at, you're looking for targets, and it's not succeeding. After a while, I take command of the situation. I go, so I've been looking over the schematics of this city for a place for us to go and stake out. And I choose an establishment that looks like an established establishment and say, I think this would be the best option.
Give me a Minister intelligence roll.
Start heading in that direction. Don't worry, it has some degree of competence. Some.
It's easy to find bars and things, and you're trying to look for like a higher class bar, and you do. I mean, there is, you know, there's like the work bars where near the mining spikes are, where people just like they kick their boots off and buy a fucking brew. But you go to somewhere more in where, you know, merchants and people would dock, and then so you head over there. You end up heading to a quiet bar. Couldn't really even call it like a tavern or a pub or anything like that, just sort of a quiet place. It's not really a dive bar. It's sort of an okay quality, you know, it's got like nice drinks behind in like a glass case with light going through it. And there are people here, but it's not like any other place. There's sort of ambient music, but not really, you know, like, it's just kind of very relaxed and chill. Again, it's not really the kind of time a lot of people would be in a bar. That's not saying there aren't some people kind of slumped over drinks right now, because there absolutely are. And there's even, you know, a couple of people who've clearly just come on as well from another vessel who are just sort of chatting around.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we go into this, go into the one that you're like, go into the establishment, and honestly, just to kind of brush off the failures of before, because I mean, it does take its toll on you.
Rain's looking a bit down. Yeah, she's feeling a bit hurt.
I'll gesture to a table for them to head off to. And I'll head straight to the bar, and I will actually order a round of drinks.
Absolutely.
But I don't get like just like a round. I'll actually get a round of shots, and then a round of beers based off of what I know. So I'll get like a cheaper kind of beer for Rain, because that's what she likes, and I'll get a pretty decent beer for myself because that's what I like. And then I think about the third person in the crew. And I just order the most shitty beer, like a Natty Ice or Bud Light version of beer.
I could tell you exactly what you might have got him. One time at uni, I bought tequila beer. and everyone hated it. I kind of liked it, but it was shitty. But you know what? I enjoyed it, and that's what you order.
I'm so down for that.
Yeah, no, you would probably like it, Neil. Or at least appreciate the existence of it. And Prov would definitely like it.
You guys are monsters as people.
I can drink just about anything.
I like good beer as well as bad beer.
Well, exactly, right? Yeah. I can appreciate things.
Monsters as people.
So you do that. You
I buy the round, which is the 2 drinks for each of us. I bring it over to the table.
It's actually relevant because in this area, being part of the Novus Concord space, truly, there's actually a whole thing where like Novus has got like a monopoly on like a bunch of brewing organizations and company, and it's sort of like, you know, Novus beers. So you easily get like the right things for cheap and stuff. It's the kind of stuff that would make Will so angry, being like, no, they could just all be free. Brew what they want, but no, it's just like big mega corporation beer.
Well, that's okay. So we grab the drinks before I even sit down. I'll grab up the shot glass and hold it up, and I'll say, "To find music." It is clearly a rehearsed phrase. Like he practiced it a few times before he came over, and he says, "To find music."
To the not appreciated artists.
To the spirit of creation.
and then as we all drink down the horrible performance we saw earlier, I'll then like take a sip out of my beer and be like, all right, well, I suppose we all have an idea of what kind of target we should be looking for to get information. As long as we stay within these 4 walls, there's not necessarily a reason for us to stick together. Look for what it is that you think will get you the information you need. Do what it is that you're good at. I'll take another sip, and I'm going to start heading off to find what I think would be a good target. But I'm going to throw it to them first before I take the moment.
So well mannered, Scott.
Sometimes.
What a gent. I can see.
Depends how sleepy he is during this segment. Sometimes it's like, let's just have the NPCs do everything.
Sometimes it makes sense to have the NPCs.
I know!
I gotta make this decision. I'll throw it out to Anna.
So, what's your battle plan? Obviously, you can do just like notice, wisdom, or charisma checks. You could also do like some talk checks, or maybe even a trade check if anyone has trade. Or work, actually, Prof could also work.
Just go around chatting to like more or less one person after the next, just lightly. Can I make a connect check?
Yeah.
Oh, they connect with you, all right.
Yeah, Rain just being her normal friendly self and sort of getting to know people a little bit, seeing if she gets any quick hints.
Quick hints.
What comes to that awkward part of the conversation where it's on the back and they're like,
that's incredibly. The dice showing on my screen.
Yeah, the dice are really good. Unfortunately, the dice
the
dice rolling sometimes lie, and what actually appears in chat is the accurate one.
Well, I mean, a 7's still okay, so I'll take it.
A 7's still okay.
That tickles me that it's a 5 and a 2 and not a 5 and a 6. Makes me happy.
Prov, what were you planning on doing? We'll go over what everyone's roles, and then we'll start doing stuff.
So I will play to Prov's strength. And I mean, this station is town size, right?
Yeah. But it seems like, at least in this part, there's suspiciously a lot of traveling and people coming and going. You know?
So I'm going to go ahead and take a leap of faith here and presume that Excalibur have a base on this station, however small it is. So I'm going to go walkabouts. Stealthily. Or exertly. And well, I mean, they have to have a base.
No, I know, but that's... First of all, you need to do the checks to find such thing before. You can't just do a... You could do a stealth check. You can be real hidden. You're not going to be doing anything. So,
So you don't understand this. So they have to I don't think I'm going to have great success in finding, say, an Excalibur operative or
Yeah,
someone
yeah, but you
who knows it.
Feel free.
Whereas walking about the station, I have the chance of either spotting someone in an illicit deal or seeing someone literally entering or exiting a base.
Yes. So yeah, but that wouldn't be a stealth check. Although you could totally do a stealth check to sort of like wait somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. It would need something else alongside it.
Yeah. I get what you're trying to do. You'd need either a notice.
Like, if there's like an Excalibur base and like, or there's some people doing a dodgy deal, they're gonna like.
Then
stop
you're gonna follow and
they're gonna stop as soon as they hear someone coming, which is why it requires.
Stealth check. Yeah, the stealth check will be depending on like whatever happens. So so to do the first bit, either a notice of a mental skill. You could get away with doing a work because you know trying to find places where people work. Trade also is a similar sort of logic. Okay, and we'll get back to that. Scott, what are you planning on doing?
So, looking around the establishment, I understand that he was thinking about kind of walking around the base or whatever, even though it was exactly
You look around,
yeah.
Prov takes his beer and leaves.
I was like, just so long as you stay within these four walls, he pisses off immediately. So I was like, oh, if he gets shanked in an alley, that's up to him. Like, we got a new crew member. There's no tears for that one. So, I'm going to look around for somebody in here, because I am used to giving commands to people that are used to taking orders. So the idea is to find somebody that's used to taking orders, somebody that is clearly like here letting off steam, the kind of person that is easily kind of like lorded over. You know what I'm talking about?
I get you.
Like looking for a bit of a follower,
yeah.
And trying to like read the vibe based off of what it was that Anna had told me beforehand. I imagine they have no necessarily uniform or anything here. So that's my goals.
There would be, as most stations have, they would have a security force with some sort of uniform. But yeah,
security first, but not necessarily the alliance. The whatchamacallit?
No.
Yeah, the Tom.
And
alliance.
she said that like almost all the security force here would be.
Which is my secondary option.
Yeah.
So first, I'm looking for a shitty person. So I imagine this is going to be a notice charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oops, I did that wrong. Sorry. If you click the wrong spot. What? No modifiers.
Okay, so
Thanks, Ian, for the luck.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Rain, you don't cause any sort of trouble. You're going around talking to people and getting to know the people here. Like I said, this is one of those places where a lot of people come and go. So actually, you fit in quite a lot and you have some pleasant conversations. But whenever you try to ask, you know, is there somewhere else here that, you know, maybe someone would be like more suiting, no one really gives you any kind of like clear answers or anything. You never get really ever hard nose. There clearly is somewhere else here that you get the definite truth that you are right, that you need to be looking for something else, but you do not get an answer about it. Prov, you start sort of skulking around outside, going around
That's
looking for folks. Skulking is the correct verb.
Like, what are you skulking about for? I'm not skulking. And what are you doing? Skulking.
Definitely skulking.
It's just the golem.
But you don't really... You find a lot of people. The kind of thing you're looking for, an illicit drug deal or like a stray shaking of hands, you don't immediately find. But you know, it's an ongoing process. Davis, you actually do very quickly find someone who appears to be part of this little, you know, alliance.
Okay.
And you can immediately start... Well, actually, that was just a notice to find them. Yeah. You kind of they're here. Maybe they're one of the. I'm doing a tense right now. I'm giving a lot of maybes and weirdnesses. You find someone who appears to be like a merchant here. Sort of one of the middlemen where like food comes in. They make sure the food goes to the right places here based on their clothing and like what you can see as they're going over a data pad on their table. Those are really the things your notice picks up on, and also, you know, the body posture and stuff. Very much a cog in the wheel of a bigger machine. You know, if you were to run an organization here, you would want the person who makes sure everyone is fed to be part of your organization. And so you definitely see this guy, sort of middle-aged, slumped over a data pad with a same beer you're drinking, in one hand, on his own.
So I walk over to him, and as I stand next to his table, holding my beer half emptied in my hands, and I say, "You look like the kind of man that likes to earn an extra cred."
He says, unzipping his trousers.
I want more food, more rations. You want more rations?
Do I look like the kind that needs rations? I'm here for information.
Yeah, he gives you like a up and down, and then like adjusts his posture a bit, and like puts his data pad to sleep, and puts it like face down on the table. Kind of looks at you and says, "I might be willing to talk a little."
Good. I'm willing to have a conversation. And then I'm actually going to tap his data pad and say, "Is that set to record?"
No. And he will like open it and unlock it to show that it's not. You know.
Okay.
I'm not.
Then I'll sit down.
Yeah.
Then I'll sit down. And when I sit down across from him, I say, "I'm trying to find out a bit of information about someone who came through here recently." I will pull up a picture of. I imagine there's not even a news report of her being deceased yet, so I'll pull up a picture of like a recent article of hers, so you can see it. It just looks like
Her
we're looking
profile
at
picture.
an article. Yeah.
She's just Diva in my head.
She's a little diva.
You just did that, and I was like, "Damn it! I cannot unsee now." It's just Diva, but with Ollie's face.
Photoshop challenge.
She's an ugly brat.
You know what? The state, the what people perceive as beautiful in Ardent is different, and it's amazing, and it's me.
That makes sense. That's why I was attracted to Neil's character.
No, Yasmin, which is her name, is very noticeable. She has like white hair, like a bleached white hair, and stuff.
What Noonan wannabe.
And she is incredibly noticeable. And when you show that, she's like, I may have seen her around, may have helped restock her ship once or twice.
I'm more interested in her most recent stop through here. Did you meet with her then? And I'll actually like pull up a date for him, maybe even like a time log.
Give me a. You can give me a command check. What's it? Is it command or lead? Lead.
I mean, lead. I'm not being forceful yet. I actually think it's more of a trade, which I'm not good at. I'm -1.
Feel free. I mean, I was giving you lead because again, you were trying to find someone who's definitely a follower, where you can kind of put some of your clout into it.
I haven't started being pushy yet. I'm more inquiring with already having
trade or talk then.
Yeah, I'll do talk. Talk's better for me. Talk charisma?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like to lead. It's not my shtick yet. Cool.
He kind of nods. Yeah, I did, but not here. She usually hangs out at the Horseshoe, down a few floors below. You know, like a lot of the folk who come in and need their weapons restocked.
The Horseshoe, and I looked at the schematics of the city earlier.
It's not there.
Okay. I nod, and I say, "What dealing did you have with her? Was it just the restock?"
Just the restock. She had expensive tastes, so I had a nice full wallet that day.
She usually does. Did you see her speak with the others while you were down there?
I keep my mind on my own business.
I'll when he says that, I will sit a little bit more upright, and then I'll look at him and say, "I didn't ask whether or not you keep your business. I asked whether or not you saw her speak to somebody else." And this is where I can use my.
Yeah, this is where you're using your foci. Go ahead and click it.
Oh, do I use my foci? Okay, I'll use my foci.
You have a.
It works. It works.
Yeah, You have your like, this was the exact stance you took last time you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very much a pass. He's like, I mean, there's a lot of people down there in the horseshoe. There's a lot of folks. Yeah, I mean, she definitely talked with you know, one of the sword blokes. There's a couple of them often down there. And there was also you know, the old woman. She's often about. I didn't really stay that long. I just kind of make the deals and then I go and have other people sort of do the heavy lifting. You know how it is.
What was the old woman's name? There's a lot of them around here. I say, looking at a bar filled with mostly young people.
Yeah, he'll like actually start.
Maybe I have young taste.
He'll start going through your through his data pad very quickly.
Hit the panic button.
I don't know. I mean, that's one of the things where you would roll to see if that, but no. I don't know her real name. She's a pirate. They call her Mother Mutiny. That's all. I don't think she's still here. Her ship. It's noticeable when her ship's in the system. She usually comes by on a shuttle or something. They were all meeting together.
That day, that time.
I was only there for a bit.
I'll nod in appreciative thanks. I don't think there's anything else I can get from this guy. I'll stand up. Haven't not taking any credits out of my pocket yet, so I'll stand up, and I'll start to take a step away, and then I'll stop and I'll turn back and say, "Where is it?"
I can tell you if I get my reimbursement.
You first. And I say, resting my hand in my pocket.
He didn't even do any kind of roll. His morale's too but they're low. Like, you go down in deck below. You just gotta. If you say I sent you, they'll probably let you in.
I throw 50 credits on the table for the information, and then I say, "How about we keep this conversation between us?" And I throw 50 more credits on the table.
Yeah, you can see he was kind of getting antsy, but when you do that, and he like puts the chips like in his pocket very quickly, so they don't land on the table for very long, he kind of like relaxes a bit more. Maybe when you step away, you hear him be like, "Oh, I should not have said that."
and it's funny because
He literally Hagrid's. He's like, should not have said that.
I'll actually stop even a couple more steps away and look back and I say, you know, unlike the conversation that you had before. And then I'll walk away and make sure that as I walk away, like my weapons are plain in view.
Yeah.
I have my shotgun, assault rifle, and
yeah, exactly.
And I'll make my way over to either to Rain or if Rain's still occupied, back to the table where I was before for Rain to rejoin me.
Yeah, you can sit back down and Rain will like come by when you're settled. Prov, feel free to give me another notice check.
Taste my overwhelming wisdom.
Rolls a 1.
I'm consistent.
You actually have been noticing, finding a place to lean and maybe, smoke a cigarette. A lot of people going down onto a bottom deck that when you flew here and when you glanced at the schematics, not that you really get the idea of a 3D city, there shouldn't be a bottom deck other than just tunnels, maybe.
Lovely. So marking the entrance, I like that. He'll chuck the cigarette, stamp it out, and start trudging back to pass on the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And then you come back probably more or less the same time Rain does, and sit down comfortably at your little tavern table.
He's gonna sip the now warm tequila beer. I say sip, have a big gulp.
Yeah.
It's not a sip and drink.
It's not a sipping drink. If you sip it, it is very foul.
How'd it go, boss?
Waiting to see how Rain.
Yeah, I mean, I got as much as there's definitely something here. evidently, no one ain't willing to talk about it to a first timer, I figure.
Well,
Oh, Matt.
I'd concur with that. I saw a few unsavory-looking individuals heading down to a lower deck. I didn't see any lower deck when we were coming in, so it's well hidden.
Yeah, they're heading to the horseshoe.
Sounds like you got a bit more than both of us, boss.
It's an establishment where you can go and restock your firearms, meet with others of the unsavory sort. We're going to have a meeting down there. I don't know exactly how it's going to end. I can imagine with a bit of firepower. But we're looking for a few different people. Most importantly, Mother Mutiny, if she's about. We'll be able to find out whether or not she's in the area. People always take note of it because of the styles of shuttle that she uses to fly in. I didn't get details on the shuttle. Then there are those down there that are good with swords. We're going to need to question one or two of them and see if they know any details about this streamer.
Roger that. Keeping our weapons close then for this one. Sounds a bit of marching into the enemy's base, but well.
Not necessarily. Just because one or two of them were friends with her doesn't necessarily mean they're friends with each other. So just tread lightly. Let's not upset any balances if we don't need to.
Probably best to keep a low profile, though. If the bounty came from here, anyone who heard of it could be a little bit opportunistic. Perhaps, if anyone asks, we're private investigators sent by our parents. She's supposed to be rich, and that figures, right?
We'll keep that to our belts. I actually think that there's something else that we need to keep an eye on, too, if possible, and it might not be. Be friendly. Remember, when you go running with a torch into a rat hole, they all have their back to a corner. Even sworn enemies become best friends. So they'll do anything they can to survive that assault. So if you can make friendly with any of them, maybe when things go down, if they go down, some stick to our side.
Well, the one carrying a goddamn war weapon in there.
Rain sort of eyes the combat rifle on her back.
I don't think you understand what we're going to find down there.
Well, friendly's my middle name. At least it would be if I had a last name.
Yeah, I contemplate that. I remember her record. She doesn't have a last name. It's weird.
That is weird.
Mysteries. I hate it.
So, and it's one syllable first name, so it's not even like a fun, like at least my name's like Bridget or something. It's just like Rain.
So you start heading down to the lower deck.
At least it's 3 sounds. Rain.
I'm just like broken Scott for a moment as he contemplates it.
And you know what? Let's give
could
Scott
be like,
the moment he needs. We'll be back in a couple of
Having
minutes.
a senior moment, everyone.
hey.
It's fine.
I haven't even considered calling like anything and everything Scott does a senior moment, and that's my
Wait
new
a second.
big
Hey,
move.
hey.
We'll be back.
It took me a moment.
I'm outie.